News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
News Talk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Homicide suspects in custody. Good morning, everyone. This is Montana Morning. It is Thursday, August 14th. 2014. We've had lots of rain the last 12 hours or so. Quite a windstorm and rainstorm that moved through the area late yesterday afternoon and late last night. Right now we have 56 degrees in Missoula. Sky is cloudy. We are expecting more rain throughout the day. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Temp Right Service. Got any plumbing or air conditioning problems? Call Team Blue at 728-1111. 49-year-old Sandra Lee Cantrell and 29-year-old Christopher Lee Stiles were arrested in Missoula Tuesday evening, both of whom will be charged with homicide that occurred last weekend near Dillon. Public Information Officer with the Missoula Police Department, Travis Welsh, says they were taken into custody near Craig Park.
A Missoula police officer observed two individuals walking in Craig Park, which is east of the Orange Street Bridge on the riverfront there, who matched a description of the two individuals. He made contact with them, and through subsequent field interview and investigation, he learned that it was the two individuals that we had been searching for.
Beaverhead County Sheriff Jay Hansen outlines the charges against Cantrell and Stiles.
Right now, from what I understand, visiting with the county attorney is going to charge deliberate homicide by accountability, tampering with evidence, and property theft.
Both suspects will be returned to Dillon to face charges in the death of 60-year-old Mark Robert Mullen of Butte, who was found dead at a campground in the Wise River area. The cause and manner of Mullen's death have not yet been officially released. Beset by plagiarism allegations and ranking last in Senate seniority, U.S. Senator John Walsh of Montana still retains hope of advancing legislation through Congress before his brief tenure in Washington ends. Walsh said yesterday the bills he backs that address veteran suicide and land conservation in Montana have the best chance to pass before his term ends in January. The Democrat last week abruptly dropped his Senate campaign against Congressman Steve Daines, citing the distraction over reports that Walsh plagiarized a paper while at the Army War College. The college's formal investigation, by the way, opens tomorrow. Walsh says he's undecided on whether he'll appear in person. Walsh had a field hearing on Alzheimer's disease yesterday in Billings. He said his goal was to help raise awareness about 18,000 Montanans afflicted with that disease. This fall, all students at the University of Montana will continue to be required to take and pass a test to raise their awareness of sexual assault. Vice President for Integrated Communications Peggy Kaur says the test was created in response to an investigation by the Justice Department Civil Rights Bureau into sexual assaults on campus and in the community that is known by the acronym PETSA.
That stands for Personal Empowerment Through Self-Awareness. And what that really is an online tutorial about sexual assault, the law. There is a whole video about consent.
Kaur says the effort to reach the campus community regarding the issue of sexual assaults involves everyone.
Well, that involves the police, our residence life people, the dean of students, Curry Health Center, Title IX. We want all these people working together because the key is how do we overall as a university create a safe learning environment for everyone.
Kaur says the project is meant to make reporting sexual assaults easier for anyone who may be a victim. Prosecutors are telling a judge there is no need to move the trial of a Missoula homeowner accused of shooting and killing an unarmed exchange student who entered his garage. As we reported yesterday, Marcus Karma's attorneys have said the Missoula County jury pool has been tainted by media coverage and community outcry about the April 27th shooting at Deer and Dede. Missoula Deputy County Attorney Jennifer Clark said in a response filed earlier this month that the media coverage has been factual and not inflammatory. She says negative reader comments attached to online articles about the shooting are not representative of the county's population. District Judge Ed McLean will make the decision on whether to move the trial. Karma's been charged with deliberate homicide. His attorneys say he shot the 17-year-old German exchange student in self-defense. Montana Democrats will be meeting in special session Saturday in Helena to choose a U.S. Senate candidate to replace John Walsh, who as we just reported, backed out of the race over a controversy about plagiarism. Chair of the Missoula County Democrats, David Kendall, explains.
We'll all gather in Helena on Saturday. There will be about over 100 people from all over the state. They're representing most of the counties in the state, and we will hear from the candidates who are interested in running, and then we'll decide by voting on one of them.
Kendall outlines the favorites currently in the running.
The candidates I've heard about most from are Amanda Curtis from Butte. There's also David Lazenreed, and there's a rancher, Dirk Adams, who was actually one of the primary candidates in the last election.
Of those named, Curtis has already been endorsed by the MEA-MFT, that's Montana's Combined Teachers Union. Whoever the Democratic candidate may be, Republican Steve Daines has a huge head start in fundraising and name recognition, with the general election coming up in November. Kendall will be our guest, by the way, on Talkback from 8 until 8:30 this morning. A new report says insurance pays for 94% of Montana state employees' health care costs. That's the equivalent of the best platinum plans that can be purchased through the health insurance exchanges that were launched last year. Nationwide, state government plans pay on average 92% of an employee's health care costs. Montana Public Employees Association Executive Director Quinton Nyman says state governments typically attract employees with benefits because they can't attract them with the pay that private employers can offer. And with that in mind, the federal government sent out letters this week warning over 300,000 people they'll be losing their health insurance altogether if they fail to send in proper documentation. Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services spokesman Mike Fierberg says his office is trying to make sure that those who purchased health insurance plans on the federally run marketplace did so legally.
We need to verify their citizenship or immigration status, that is, that they are legally in the country. So this is kind of a final notice to these people who have not responded to multiple inquiries already, that if they don't get their documentation into us by the first week of September, they will be cut off from their insurance plan at the end of September.
A little more, Fierberg says a little more than 1% of the plans purchased in Montana are still missing that legal paperwork. Finally, attorneys say settlement talks between the Ursuline Sisters of the Western Province and hundreds of people who claim they were sexually abused by priests and nuns have failed. Plaintiff's attorney Molly Howard filed a report earlier this week in Lewis and Clark District Court, saying the parties were unable to resolve the case through informal discussions ordered by Judge Jeffrey Sherlock in June. Both attorneys say a conference with the judge is needed. The first in a series of trials is scheduled for December. Our News Talk time now is 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
A chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day today with the best chance early. We'll see our temperatures topping out in the low 80s. Tonight, a lingering shower or storm, lows in the mid-50s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13, your first alert station.